Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right, so the score was 130-114. The Lakers got the win at home against the Atlanta Hawks, and it was a very, very fun game to watch if you were a Laker fan. If you were an Atlanta Hawks fan, not so much at all. What I saw out there was great Laker defense to start the game, intent on pushing the pace while remaining careful. That's the best way I know how to describe it. Guys were very careful with the basketball, even though we turned the ball over 18 times. I think overall what I saw was the intent on every possession, um, and players just playing well in spite of being, a little short-handed out there without a number of our regular key role players. But the guys who stepped up played well, and you got to take your hat off to the king and Russell Westbrook, our Hall of Famers, for just putting on the Superman cape and leading the first and second units respectively. It was just a very, very, very good performance by those two. And then you want to throw in some fantastic play from the others as well. You got to give a guy like Kendrick Nunn all the credit in the world for how fantastic he shot the ball tonight. I think he was 9 or 12 or something of that nature. Hit 5 threes on the night. Um, LeBron James with 10 assists, things like that. Obviously, Thomas Bryant, we can't get anywhere without Thomas Bryant and his 13 rebounds and 18 points. Just tremendous defense played by Thomas Bryant, too. We usually talk about how he doesn't play defense as well, but I really like what I saw from him from just about every facet of basketball tonight. Both sides of the floor, taking care of the basketball, being very careful not to pass into situations where the ball would otherwise be taken from players, staying down, playing weak side defense, offensive rebounds. I believe he walked away with 4 offensive rebounds tonight, several putbacks that led to buckets. We're talking about a basketball player who's ascending into a different space right now, and as long as he can continue to be a very effective team defender, I'm not sure how good he's going to get. I don't know, because he doesn't seem to be missing very much from pretty much anywhere, and his rebounding is elite. He's rebounding some over just about everybody you put in front of him, and at this point, this is happening every single night. Right now, I'm extremely excited about Thomas Bryant and the role that we have him in, and he's going to just continue to play like this if we continue to roll with him. So I'm excited about that as well. Um, Looking at Wenyen Gabriel tonight, thinking about offensive rebounds, he had 2 offensive rebounds tonight. Um, and didn't get as much playing time as I would have liked to seen him get, but ultimately we were able to see him play as well as we need him to play. While Toscano Anderson was doing fantastic things. I love how he steals the ball, how heads up he is in reaching for the ball and getting it loose and putting himself in positions to help with team defensive situations. He's really, really, really special with that as I'm starting to study his game. One thing that we're much better at is help defense and flashing at players and things of that nature. When he and Max Christie on the floor together, those guys really flash out very well and created a lot of problems for those penetrating Atlanta Hawks. So I was extremely excited about what I saw from those players defensively. And then Max Christie, you got to give him credit, man. I got on his case in the first half. I've been getting on his case a lot lately for some of the stuff I've been seeing from him in the little minutes that he's been given. But tonight he stepped up huge, and I don't think we win this game without his three-point shooting. In fact, I'm pretty certain we have trouble keeping the lead that we had during the stretch when, I'd say in the third quarter, when Trae Young started really making a push. They cut our lead to about, I think, as low as maybe 10 or something of that nature. But we were able to make the right plays and get ultimately 3-point shots up in key moments to just keep the spread well enough. Dennis Schroeder, got to give him credit as well. I think he walked out of there with something around 21 points. His 3-point shot has been fantastic. I don't know how many he hit, but he hit a lot of them. It might have been 5 from him, and I might have gotten that wrong in regards to someone else hitting 5, but I'm not sure. The bottom line is he hit threes all night long, and we want to continue to see him play as well as he's playing. Defensively, he stepped his game up as well, staying in front of people, keeping up with people. I think it's a testament to just how much work he's put in to taking care of himself as well as playing in the summertime. Excuse me. With FIBA basketball and having a fantastic summer there. I thought to start the season he was exhausted from that, and then from there had the injury from which he's had to work back from, and for a while now has been playing well, but it's been in some bad lineups and we've been losing. Now we're seeing him continue the path of playing well. He's getting in even better shape, and as a result, he's stepping into a different level. The Dennis Schroeder that we remember him being when we first acquired him. Dennis Schroeder that was Sixth Man of the Year with the OKC Thunder, and Dennis Schroeder who was a starter with these same Atlanta Hawks that we beat up on tonight. So I'm excited to see where Dennis Schroeder's career is headed based on knowing where the path he's been on has been, and just knowing that a lot of that stuff was just mismanagement, kind of being advised the wrong way or not taking good advice in regards to negotiations, and even less within his control. COVID protocol and injuries and things of that nature that I follow pretty closely as a Laker fan. Of course, you did as well. So we know what Dennis Schroeder has been through, and we know what he's trying to get. And so to see him have the type of games that he's had over the last couple of games, we're just hoping he can stay healthy and continue to contribute to winning basketball, because he's helping us big time, and I think we're starting to gain some real love here as the Laker fans are enjoying what he's doing for us. So it's just a lot to be appreciative of as this team continues to win basketball games against teams in the Eastern Conference, whether it's at home or away. It does not matter. We're able to do what we need to do despite turning the ball over a little more than we'd like to. We're still able to take care of the ball, and we're shooting better too. That's what I'm starting to notice over the last couple games. We're really starting to hit threes, starting to hit, find ourselves taking better shots overall as a team. And I gotta admit, the next man up mentality has never been more prevalent than it has been over these last several games. With guys being in and out of the lineup, our team just seems to be playing better. It doesn't even matter who's missing. The bottom line is, even the new guys, Sterling Brown, I saw him do some good things out there defensively, bodying up on people. I didn't think the foul he got against Bogdanovich was a foul at all. I thought he played really good defense in that sequence, and he pushed the pace. One of the reasons the Lakers were so fantastic tonight is because they were able to get in the fast break so much, and he was a contributor to that early in the game as well. So, you consider what this team was committed to doing and pushing the pace while remaining careful to take good shots and take care of what it is that was within their control. I think this team played a really, really good team ball game tonight against a basketball team that had been playing some pretty good ball themselves, the Atlanta Hawks, having gone up against the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings on the road a few games in a row. So I'm sure they're a little beat up and tired. Probably didn't expect us to play as well as we did. But when you consider the stretch that we're on, I don't think too many more teams should be taking us for granted any longer. We are a serious ball club, and we got a lot of guys playing well at once right now, including the very best, LeBron James, who's filling up the box score, scoring the ball, doing all the things we need him to do, easy buckets, slam dunks. I love the fact that there was Jeannie Buss on one side of the floor and Uncle Shea on the other side of the floor, and LeBron James was giving them both a show. Spin move on one side, super dunk on the other side. It was just a phenomenal display tonight, and it was a key game. This is a home game against Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. Obviously, we know these guys are going to come in with star power attached to their name, and you just like the fact that the overall effort tonight was to distance ourselves from them, to allow others to know that we are a better team than them. We'll beat them in their house, and we beat them here, and they expect to make the playoffs. So that's a very important thing for us to say. Even though we're in different conferences, got different goals, at the end of the day, we handled the Hawks this year, and I think we can handle some more playoff teams too if we continue to play the way that we're doing, especially in having a real center on the floor. It is everything. Thomas Bryant's offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, scoring the ball, energy, ability to just overcome big player things. You know what I mean? Just get to the rim, dunk the ball, his second chance points, and even when he misses situations, when the rebound comes his way, he's going back up with a certain level of force that we haven't seen since Shaq, to be completely honest with you, since Bynum, and that type of force, that type of intent from a center. So I'm telling you, if he continues to stay healthy, which is the only concern I have with him, which is the same concern I have with most of the players on our team right now, if he continues to play at this level and continues to stay in his conditioning, I think the sky is the limit for Thomas Bryant. I would not be surprised if he continues to add to his cachet in this uniform. We're going to have to pay that dude. I hope people are paying attention to what's happening here. if he stays on this tear, we're going to have to start respecting him. He's still a young player. He's only, 27, something like that. He should be somebody we take very seriously as part of our key future core. I think not core, but rotation players that we want to use. And if he can develop into a star player, then yes, core. You know what I mean? I don't put no caps on nobody, but at this point, he's showing us a lot of upside, and we should be very excited about what we're seeing. So that's what it is, man. I don't think we can win these basketball games without a collective force of everybody playing the way that they're playing. But I know for a fact, if you remove Thomas Bryant, we don't win. We saw how that looked last year when we had those situations without Dwight Howard. We didn't see any offensive rebound. We didn't see any weak side. We didn't see any second chance points in a lot of situations. It was hard to get buckets outside of LeBron James slashing, and even he had hard time scoring against certain teams. If we would have had this piece last year on top of Dwight Howard, and we would have used those two players the majority of the game, we would have made the playoffs, and we could have did some good things, man. It was always size. It was always small ball. And to start this season, you know what it was? The same issue. But look at where we are now. Playing big players, and what does it turn into? Winning. Winning. I cannot stress it enough. And I promise you, if we go back to doing forced guard lineups, you know what we're going to see? The same results we saw in the first half. We'll start losing. We will, if we sit Thomas Bryant, sit JTA, sit all these tall players that we've been using, and go back to this small ball lineup, I promise you we'll be just as bad as the teams we saw at the beginning of the year, because it was never about that. It was never about that. It was about who you played and when. And we're seeing now him playing the good players, the tall players, the players that can help us win, and as a result, you're beating teams. The Los Angeles Lakers need to simplify things for themselves and understand that going forward. You don't have a small ball world for yourself. You can't do nothing with small ball. But when you play big players, just like it's been historically for us, in the however 75 years we've been in existence, we put 7-footers on the floor that can get us easy buckets, and you surround them with some of the best guards in the league, and we can do good things. This is what we know for a long time. So I just never want to see us revert back to small ball again. I don't ever want to see us sitting players that can do for us what Thomas Bryant is doing right now. Dwight Howard could have did this every night last year. Every night. The type of shape he's in right now this year, overseas, he could have did that every night. And we sat him. You know what I mean? So as I'm thinking back on how angry I was at how that was, I'm happy things have moved on from that. I'm happy we have Thomas Bryant now. This is why we appreciate the future that we can, kind of build upon when we think about players that we can carry over from this team into next season. Thomas is one of them, and we have several others. But guys are solidifying their roles right now. Dennis Schroeder. And I just think, if you ask me, I think the Sixth Man of the Year award may already be sold up. If Russell Westbrook continues to stay healthy and continues to play exactly the way he is right now, no one's beating him for that. You can't make a good case for anybody better than him this year. Not the way he's playing. Nope. I'm sorry. And I know it's a lot of people who are still not really aware of how well he's playing, because obviously they're more so aware of his mistakes. The peanut gallery isn't as loud about how well he's playing as they were when he was, out there stinking it up. Because it's easy to show blooper reels, but they don't want to show that he's one shy of a triple-double tonight. With heavy on the assists, heavy on the points. Hitting shots and passing up the ones he had no business taking a lot of the time. You know what I mean? And so I was very pleased with Russell Westbrook. And I think Russell Westbrook got a taste of his own medicine tonight with Kendrick Nunn down the stretch of the basketball game, which is something I love to see, because we've been seeing that as a reoccurring theme on this team. Guys have been doing certain things that hurt the team, and then somebody else will do that same thing to them, and then they get a taste of that medicine. This is exactly what we saw tonight. Kendrick did not want to give the ball to Russell Westbrook down the stretch of the basketball game in the sequence, and as a result, Kendrick decided to dribble the ball into a situation where he bricked the layup and made himself look foolish. He pulled a Russell Westbrook on Russell Westbrook, and I tell you, I loved it, because when Russell Westbrook goes to do something stupid like that, I will refer to it again as regards to what Kendrick just did to him. Because it's at the end of the day, this is what we need to see. Sometimes we just need to see somebody do to you what you do to others, so you know not to do it and you know how it feels. And that's exactly what we saw tonight. So I was very thankful that that whole thing played out the way that it did. Hopefully Russell will heed that going forward and continue to do things that help us, so that other players don't have to feel what he felt tonight. Because I'm telling you, that's exactly how it felt. So Kendrick, I think you had a fantastic game tonight, but I'm not going to forget that. Just understand that doing that is not helpful. Clearly, we want Russell to stop doing it. We want you to not do it. We want Bron to not do it. You see what I'm saying? Anybody that does that needs to not do it. We understand that our chemistry has been fragile, but we also understand that we're a team that plays best together. Everybody contributed tonight, and that is why we won. Everybody got a chance to touch tonight, and that is why we won. Bron had double-digit assists. Russell Westbrook had 9 assists. It's 19 assists between 2 players. That is how we win. And something we can talk about as well. When we walk the ball up, we don't strike as fast. We're not as good a team. When we find ourselves in half-court situations, we're not as good a team. The way we're able to score was defense to offense in the fast break. That's how we were continuing to hammer it home against the Hawks. So what we need to understand is that is usually a recipe for success for us. If Thomas Bryant ain't on the floor, or if Anthony Davis ain't on the floor, we need to try to stay out of the half-court setting. We need to not confuse the fact that we have a 25-point lead from getting buckets in transition with us having success in the half court. It's not the same thing. You start slowing the ball up, trying to get yourself in a position to conserve the lead, and you're not getting in transition, you're not scoring the ball. So that's something the Lakers need to really, really key in on and respect. It's kind of what we've been talking about the entire time about not slowing down in the stretch of the games when you're trying to conserve the lead, because it doesn't really work in our favor. Well, we're actually seeing exactly what it does. We're seeing what the problem is. It is that thing. We are a scoring team that gets in transition mostly. You know what I mean? We can see it. As soon as we were able to force steals, usually John Collins turned the ball over, something like that, or Trae Young turned the ball over, we're headed the other way. Boom, 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 score, fast break. It's how we got our lead. It's usually how we get most of the stuff we get. You know what I mean? So I just want the Lakers to study their half-court tendencies, especially down the stretch of basketball games, as it pertains to what it is that they're transitioning from doing, and seeing how it doesn't necessarily find themselves being a better transition. You don't find yourself in a better space when you do that. You know, stay doing what works and you'll be happy with your results. So that's what we're here to say. All in all, that's what it is. You know, I just love what I saw defensively. That is the point. That you know, having Thomas Bryant on the floor to have a big body down there, and then, you know, making sure that we have guys like JTA putting themselves in position to flash and ultimately just do everything that he did. And then you talk about Wenyen Gabriel and all these guys that just played defense tonight in a really special way. You know, I want to mention Patrick Beverley, even though I didn't see him as much tonight. We got away from him in terms of his minutes, but he did good things with the minutes given. I think it's important to look at that, though, to really look at that, because, you know, coach has been leaning on him a lot, sometimes playing him 35 minutes, 39 minutes, not going with some of the guys that we did go with tonight. And then that doesn't usually go very well for us. I think this is kind of how you got to do it, coach. I think you got to go away from Patrick a little more, have him hovering around the 20-minute to 15 to 18, 20-minute range. You know, and kind of lean in on these other guys that you went with tonight because they're just physically more capable. A guy like Max Christie, this is what I've been talking about the entire time. You see them 3-point shots he hit tonight? This is what I wanted to see him do. We've been playing him 5 minutes, 6 minutes. No. Not when you have the deficiencies we have. Every bit of the production he provided tonight, I believe that kid can produce for us every single night. He's been showing me that all year long. With the minutes that he's given, he understands how to produce. It's just about him learning how to pick and choose where to be and how to do certain things. We saw tonight some real serious deficiencies with him getting in position to shoot the ball. That's going to come with reps. That's going to come with you guys running drills on that kid so he understands how to stay ready, get ready, and be what he needs to be for this unit this year. You know what I mean? He needs to be able to strike quicker, and I think that he was able to see where he messed up a lot of plays earlier in the game, as to which down the stretch of the game, he was hitting those same shots we wanted him to take. Saving the game, literally saving it himself. So all them games we lost, and you see him getting 5 minutes and scratches and no minutes, you understand he could have did what he did tonight. You know that. And we said the same thing about Wenyen even further earlier in the season. It's just about who you play and when. You know what I mean? And now we're starting to see what our players can do for us. I'd imagine they've proven themselves in practice or something, so guys are finally ready to play them with some weird stuff. Put them out there, man. Just put them out there. When we're desperate and we're not very good, guys got to play, man. Guys got to get on the floor and show us that they can provide what it is that's not being used. And so that's what I like. Our coach decided to finally, by way of these injuries, lean into some people that he should have been leaning in on in the first place. And as a result, he's getting the results that he would have gotten the whole dang time. So this is what we say, man. This is what it is. We're very happy about our situation at this point. We like the addition of the players we saw. Cole Swider, shout out. Saw the 3-point shot you striked at the very end of that game. I thought that was extremely important. Cole Swider was in an extreme slump to start his career. And that injury, I think, could kind of have been a blessing in disguise for him, because obviously when you get injured, you got to go back to the drawing board as it pertains to everything in your conditioning. So whatever was causing him to not shoot as well as he was, I'd imagine he's nowhere near that space anymore, and I can't wait to see where he's at. So I'm excited about what I saw there in the little couple seconds he was out there. So yeah, that's what it is, man. You know, I'm excited about where the Lakers are headed tomorrow. We got the Sacramento Kings, so it's going to be a little bit of a tough one. Usually when you go to Sacramento, I'm going to tell you guys, I've seen this movie a million times. A back-to-back going up to Sacramento is usually a nightmare. It just usually is. You got to deal with just the overall purple of it all, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of purple that ain't our purple. You know what I mean? And when you go up there, it's just like of a drag. It's almost like I don't know, it's like something that eats away at your energy when you have to go play Sacramento for some reason off a back-to-back. I've been watching this movie my whole life, so I'm telling you what I know. Usually it's a sluggish basketball game, so that's what I would tell LeBron and the guys to guard against. Just the overall Sacramento sluggishness that comes with playing them off a back-to-back in their house. You know, we don't want to get too much into that game, but I already got thoughts about that, so we'll make a whole new video on that tomorrow and get y'all that. But as of right now, we just want to celebrate beating Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. Those are two very, talented basketball players. John Collins has found his way. And I want to say something else. I think something was pretty good. Coach pulled LeBron James out of the game around the 6-minute mark. And I thought that was a pretty interesting sub out, because the score was kind of out of hand, but it looked like they were still in position to kind of strike. DeJounte was still on the floor. And we had just had some highlight plays and things of that nature. But I'd lean toward believing that wasn't a bad substitution, because what I was thinking is, you don't want to get LeBron James caught up in a dunk-a-thon in a game where the situation's a bit out of hand. You can afford to sit him, obviously, with the back-to-back coming up tomorrow. So that's really what I was thinking. On some nights, in certain situations with the score like that, with the talent being as it is, I don't know if I would feel as comfortable removing Bron from the game at that moment. Maybe I'd feel a little better if he played maybe to the 4-minute mark. But given the fact it's a back-to-back, given the fact that they were dunking all over the place, I didn't want him getting caught up in that as well. Not with a back-to-back tomorrow. So I thought that was a good substitution. So yeah, that was just something that stood out for me. But overall, it was a good game. Better than a good game. It was a great game because we won it. And we were able to flex against a team that we know, if they play well, they should be able to beat us on most nights. So as to have beaten them twice in 1 week, we feel excellent about where we're at and what that means about who we can be going forward. So Sacramento tomorrow, man, that's what it's about. We can enjoy this win for a couple seconds, but hopefully these guys are getting on the plane and getting some rest and don't have any weird Sacramento stuff. That's another thing. I've heard stories over the years of people having to get into the flights situations, getting their hotel rooms laid, or the fire alarm go off in Sacramento. I'm telling you, this is a long history of this stuff with them. This is one of the reasons why I don't like Sacramento as a team. But nevertheless, we will have to deal with them tomorrow, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We owe them something too, because they got us last time we went up there. So yeah, looking forward to it. And yeah, that's what I got. It's the Kobe Minute, man. Definitely salute him. This is one of those games I'm sure he would have been proud of. It's an overall team effort where defense was turning to offense, fast breaks, all over the place, highlights, and just overall, something for the fans to be proud of. We've had some games we're really, really proud of. So, yeah, shout out to the Lakers for that. That's what I got to say. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.